Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm your host of Realty Coffee Talk. We talk about real estate market update today. As you know, the real estate industry is opening up. There are new rules, new training being provided to real estate brokerage, and very soon our office will be open with extreme care for consumer contact. We will be monitoring social distancing, wearing masks, wearing gloves where appropriate, using sanitizer. These are the precautions we must take as we open up our market. Market has tremendous news for you. I'm going to share with you the latest June 7 report from Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. This is a public information available to all public, and when the month ends, information is provided. Toronto Regional Real Estate Board is the biggest board in Canada, and we are member of Toronto Real Estate Board, as well as we are a member of Mississauga Real Estate Board. So the good news is that there were 8,701 sale through TREB MLS system in June, which is an increase of about 89% from May to June to 2020. And it's seasonally adjusted to about 84%. Tremendous jump from May to June. But overall, as compared to last June 2019, the market was about 1.4% lower than compared to June 2019. Only 1.4%. So last June 2019, we have 8,826 real estate transaction. And this June, we have 8,701 real estate transaction. So there is a tremendous increase from May to June this year. And we are catching up with the traditional sales that we have from June 2019 to June 2020. So I'm going to give you some statistics, then I'm going to take you to the spreadsheet so you can see these figures yourself. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and so anyway, it's not possible right now. So let's look at the sale. So basically, the new listing. We talk about new listing because when we are selling the property, it all has to be market property in the market. We're going to go through different segments. So new listing, we have 16,153. This is in 401 and 905 area. So that is a 2.1% increase year over year. That means last June 2019, we have 15,824, and this June we have 16,153. That's a 2.1% increase in new listing. That means the impact of, if there is any, because of unemployment, job loss, or whatever reason, more people are willing to sell the properties now. They're coming in the market. Now, average listing, active listing. What is the average active listing? That means they're available for sale. In 2019, we have 19,655. And now we have 14,001. That is 28.8% less than last June. So we are, let's say, 30% less property available in the market for sale. Average price. In 2019 June, the average price was 800 31,882. This is a generic average price. We're going to talk about detached home, we talk about SAMIs, we talk about condominiums, we talk about condo apartments, townhomes. We talk about separately. So this year we have $930, 930,869% average price. So there is a 11.9% increase in value in average price. You see, I mentioned to you before when we have a coronavirus that eventually the prices of the real estate is going to go up. The third quarter will be very busy, and in the last quarter of this year will be the hottest in real estate market. I predicted that. If you look at my previous program, I mentioned to you. So average price has increased 11.9%. And then we're going to talk about individually which field, which property has gone so much, 905 and 416 area. It's very, very important for you to know that. Now, listed day on market, it was 21 days before. Now it's 18 days. So it came down. That means it comes and goes very quickly. So now is a property day on market. Before it used to be 30 days in 2019. Now it's 28 days, which is 13.3. That means it's moving a little bit faster. So this is the information that I have that I wanted to. So let's get back to it. So average price, the new listing was slightly on a year-to-year basis, 2.1%, which I mentioned that. So average price has gone up. So let's talk about the June prices. We go by category and how it has impacted the value. Now, one of the viewers within our team has requested to find out prices of houses downtown. They mean Toronto downtown versus buying property away from the big towns like Mississauga or maybe in the urban rural areas. So the prices are determined basically economic factor. If there are jobs there, people are going toward the job, doing the business, and demand of houses increases, and therefore people like to stay there because you have a transportation. It's easier to move around, less headache to maintain car or anything. So this is if you have a job, you have a business, you have a transportation, logistic, education, training, and accessibility of the facilities. So that's why Toronto price is a little bit higher than Mississauga or 901 area. Now, if you go buy the house a little bit outskirt, go to smaller town, your buying power will increase because the cost of building those houses is less there than in Mississauga, Brampton, or Milton, or maybe in Toronto. But if you go other areas, Hamilton, and sometimes you go toward Niagara Falls, you go westward, Cambridge or Guelph, you will find the price variation, affordability will increase. So if you are looking to purchase, if you are able to travel and you have a mean of transportation and you want to buy a house in other areas, definitely you can buy a property there. Now, let's go and cheaper. So now we talk about June sale and average prices, major home type. We're talking about major categories. So detached home in 416 area, in June, there was 894 properties sold in June in 416. And there were 3,551 detached homes were sold, and total of 4,445 detached homes sold in GTA, 905, 416. Now, what is the average price? So you have a sale price and you have an average price. So average price for 416 for a detached home was 1,523,770,000. Whereas 905, it was 1,027,634. An average of 1.127, 1,127,419. That is the average price of a detached home, including 905 and 416. So Toronto average price for a home is higher. This is for June 2020. So let's talk about Sammy. One of our my potential follower on my website asked me about the Sammy house for 700,000. So this is a news for you. I'm going to. I hope that you are watching. So semi-detached, there were 263 semi-detached sold in 416 area, and there were 535 semi sold, and a total of 798 semi sold. The average price of semi in 416 area was 1,287,832. Whereas semi in Mississauga or 905 area sold for 752,808. So that means the semis you are looking at 750,000 and more, depending on, this is the average price, which includes Mississauga, Milton, Brampton, and some other 905 areas. Mississauga, I remember I just sold last month in Mississauga a semi for 813,500. 813,500 semi in Lisgar, a community in Mississauga. So you can see it is higher than the average because it's very specific to a community within the real estate group. So this is for budgeting purposes, a very conservative way. When you're looking at the value of the property, you have to look at location, find out the community, on the street, in the neighborhood. Then you had, we call it a real estate community. For example, you have a Lisgar in Mississauga, you have a Meadoway, you have Mineola, you have a Erin Center, you have a city. So these are the communities where we see and determine the statistic very specific to the client. When realtor come to you, they will be finding the property comparable in that area to find out. So the average between Sammy in 416 and 905 is 929,138,000. That's a semi 416 and 905. So if you're looking in 416 area, you're talking $1.2 million and up. Depending on the condition, this is the average. Now we talk about townhouse. So townhouse, 364 townhomes sold in 416 and 1,209 sold in 905 area. A total of 1,573 townhomes sold, and average price of the townhome. They don't talk about square footage or any time, because townhome have three categories. You have a condo townhome, you have a freehold townhome, and you have a freehold townhome with parcel of tied land. Because parcel of tied land is a condominium that attached with the properties, because the road that you are using is not owned by you, is owned by condominium. And this is new POTL is being used by even the luxury homes in very exclusive area. So this is an average. So that means when you are talking to your realtor or you discussing your property and price value, you have to look at each side, and they will be doing very detailed analysis. So total sold 1,573 in June, and average price is 855,339, and that's in 416, and 905 is 691,021, and average price is 729,049. So when we talk about average price between 905 and 416, you are doing them, combining them together, and, and for your budget purposes. So make sure that you have a conservative budget. If you are selling your property, you want to buy another property, you want to make sure that you know the difference between the two, what is expected purchase, what is your sale of the property, and whatever the difference is, you are able to manage that difference. And that's why it's very important for you to know exactly, very conservatively, what is the maximum that you can get for your property, or the minimum that you can use for your budgeting purposes. So this is a good tool for you to do it. Okay. Now there is another before, and then we're going to talk about the condominium, the condo apartment. There were 1,287 condo apartments sold in 416. So that means it's rising again in Toronto. It was lower last in May, but June they picked up 1,287 condo apartment. It doesn't talk about 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or 3 bedroom. It talks about total condominium sold on MLS system through Toronto Regional Real Estate Board in Toronto 416 area. In 905, they only sold 506 units. A total of 1,793 condo apartments were sold in June 2020. So average price for condominium in 416 was 672,465,000. So 672,465. This is the average price of a condominium in 416 area. And in 905 area, in which we have Mississauga, we have Hamilton, we have Brampton, Milton. These are close by, or Oakville. This could be included in GTA. Whatever is in GTA is 528,028. So 528,028. That's a 905. And average combining both is 631,701. So 631,701. That is the condominium condo unit price. It doesn't show you. So when you are meeting your realtor professional talking about the prices, you have to look into that very clearly. What are you looking for? What are you qualified for? You go to your mortgage broker, you get your financial submitted to them, make sure you are pre-approved for a certain amount, because that will determine whether you can buy a semi-detached, detached home, condominium, or condo apartment. Because there is no need to run around and waste time. Because of coronavirus, you need to strategize to how you can achieve buying your dream home by working with a team that help you to achieve success. Because there are lots of components in when you're buying a property. First of all, when you want to buy a property, who comes to your mind? It comes to your mind the real estate professional who spend years of life in educating and training themselves, continuing education. And if you can see people who have lots of designation. I'm a real estate broker of record for City Pro Realty. I have 6 designation real estate. I'm a fellow of Real Estate Institute of Canada. I'm a certified international property specialist. So you go reach out and look for those people who have designations. They spend their time, they're certified in selling, they're certified in buying, or the both. And you go look for them. So once you have chosen your realtor, ask a couple of friends who have bought the property, what their experience are, and then do some interviewing and invite everybody. I believe in competition. All real estate professionals compete with each other. So this is the beauty. We have about 86 or 90,000 realtors in Ontario. There are only 254 FRIs like me, but we are all realtors. So you have a consumer have a lot of choice to make sure that you hire the best. Cost is buying and selling is the same, whether you buy a realtor or you buy a realtor who is a FRI also or certified real estate specialist. So this is a good thing. So when you talk to the realtor and you select someone to work with you, then he will guide you to the mortgage brokerage or the bank, or help you to find good lawyers, home inspectors, appraisals. So you have a full team that work with you and complete the transaction. So this is very, very critical for you to make sure when you are thinking about buying a property. For example, when one of my followers mentioned about the property, these are the facts. These are the facts that I am telling you based on the report that I'm holding in my hand. Okay? If you if you cannot purchase the property in this price range, then obviously you have to think about going out of town. Maybe you accept some travels. Obviously, when you go out of town, the biggest important thing is how much time that I will be spending away from my family, how much time it take me to get to the office. Do they have a transit? Can I use the bus transit or go train? These are the factors that create opportunity for someone to buy the house out of town area. Because if you are not able to buy it in the big city, because taxes will be low, and the cost of construction is low, so you can look into that. And when you're creating a budget for your purchasing power, you can consider the cost of gasoline, car insurance, wear tear of your car, purchasing a new car, and also dropping children to the school, a health, hospital, clinic, firefighters, police. These are all elements that makes the value of the property, because if city is well populated, it has the biggest transportation, there is a maintenance cost for infrastructure, because, for example, in Mississauga, costs will go up because a big city now is becoming big city, and they need to maintain the transportation, cleaning, cutting trees, landscape, parks. These are the costs that you have to pay under the municipal act. All the cost of maintaining a city has to be transferred to the property owners. So businesses pay a little bit higher rates. So these are the important things when you talk about buying a property. You have to sit down with your realtor and talk about that. So if you can afford it and you would like to find a job, or unless you are a self-employed, and you know that there is a growth, there is expansion going on 401 corridor going toward London and St. Thomas, those areas are growing. And this is a great opportunity for you to buy something that you cannot buy it here. I would say 2,000 square feet home in Mississauga probably costs you $1 million. But in that area, you maybe cost you about 575 to 600,000. And brand new, 40 by 110, 120, big lot. You won't get it here in Mississauga because mostly lots are now smaller unless you buy a used older home and you renovate. Location is very important. Convenience is very important. You go to the hospital, you get on a bus, you go to the GO station. These are the things. People are working in Toronto. They're going to even Milton GO station. They go to Lisgar. Mississauga has quite a lakeshore line. So these are the important things that it matters to you. How much time you can afford, and you have to calculate the cost of traveling expenses to make sure that either you pay them to get a property in the town where you live, or you're going to have to consider that cost and you gradually build your equity and then you come back to the city at a later date. So let's go back now. We talk about average year over year percentage. So now last year, year over year. So In June, detached home, Toronto was minus 10%, and 905 was 10.4 positive, and overall sale was up 5.6% on the detached home. In 416, it was 14.3% in 416, and detached home average price was up 11.7%. Overall, detached home was 10.8% up. Would you believe it? From June to June? 10.8%. I mentioned to all of you, this coronavirus did not bring our economy down. It was the government that shut down coronavirus due to health concern. They took proactive actions to prevent the spread of coronavirus, and we are very glad that our government did that. Look what's happening on the south of the border. We are loosening up the market, we're opening up, and slowly but surely, we're still very cautious about social distance, using gloves, using sanitizer, wearing mask. We are very careful. So congratulations to the government and also to all citizens who made this happen. And special thanks to our medical staff, the doctors, the nurses, the ambulance and the police, everybody who helped to prevent this spread of coronavirus. So this is a collective action. So our economy will go back. It will go back. People get job, but people will be doing business very differently. Like I'm talking to you on this remotely. This is how it's going to be. We are capable of changing our way of doing business, communicating effectively. We use this time to learn new skills, technologies, to share ideas and develop new strategies to how to be successful and revive our economy. So make sure that all fellow citizens are taken care of, they have the jobs, they can support their family, and we never forget to support our food banks and also our shelters to make sure nobody is left behind and everybody is fed. Now, detached home, good news. It was almost less than 10%, 1/10 of 1% last year, last month. But now you're 10.8% average price increase. Semi-detached for 416 minus 21%. So 416 in year over year for June 2020 is 21%, minus 21%. And 905 was minus 2.2%, and average total of minus 9.3%. Year over year per percent change. That's a percent change from last June to this June. And in average price, sale has gone down. The price has not. This is surprising, isn't it? We are talking about sale has gone down. The prices of SAMI in 416 increased 22%. My friend, 22% increase of SAMIs in 416. And in 905, it increased 8.6%. 8.6% from last June to this June. And average between 905 and 416 increased 11.9%. So tell me, where is the impact of coronavirus, my friend? People who are thinking, they are jumping and getting panicky now. I tell you, we were doing some offers, multiple offers coming between 700 to 800,000, 850, multiple offers in buying and selling. Again, we talk about those things in my next episode about the bidding, how to negotiate the price and how to help to understand the process, when to do it, when not to do it, and competing. The most important thing you have to remember that doesn't matter what price you purchase the property, you need the financing, you need a mortgage, and bank wants to do an appraisal. If you are purchasing a property, condominium, townhome, whatever, and if you're putting less than 20%, you are a high risk mortgage. Loan to value is less than 20%, so you will going to end up with getting an insurance from CMAC, and they will charge you a fee on it. Okay, the bank is that money that the bank will give it to you will be protected. I'm a licensed mortgage principal broker, and I have a Canada Express Mortgage Inc. If you ever have a question regarding mortgage or you need a mortgage, I'll be more than happy to help you because we have a licensed brokerage. I'm the principal broker. So the first thing the bank wants to do is, if you are a loan to value is less than 20%, you go to CMAC, the bank risk is covered because bank will not lose a penny in case you default on your payment. First of all, you will be scrutinized to make sure you qualify for what you're asking for. There are some programs that I talked about in my mortgage coffee talk about using a first-time buyer and what are the ability of a buyer where you can share the CMAC become a shareholder with you in purchasing a property. They can give, if your income is 120,000 and less, they can give you 10% for a new home and 5% for resale home. So maybe I repeat it again next time. So this is very, very important for you to get it pre-qualified. If you do not qualify for the mortgage, you don't have, you're paying more than 20%, the bank will send an appraisal, to secure appraisal, and you pay for it to make sure the money that you, the home that you purchase is the value correctly, and they will loan you the money. So they will do an appraisal because the bank's money is on the risk. As you know, the bank is always have a conservative approach to the appraisal. So this time we're going to continue our conversation, and we include that. At this time, we're going to take a short break at Awaz Entertainment. You're listening Realty Coffee Talk. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm your host. We'll continue after the break. Market update.
चार बजे देखिए आपका किचन विद शहबाज गोरी। सुबह 5 बजे देखिए सितारे और हम। 5:30 बजे देखिए मैसेज ऑफ मर्सी। शाम 6 बजे देखिए दीन और दुनिया। इस्लाम इन मॉडर्न टाइम मजर अयूब के साथ देखिए हर मंगल शाम 6 बजे और हर जुमा शाम 5 बजे। हालात हाजरा सलमान अरशद के साथ देखिए हर पीर को शाम 7 बजे और जुमेरात 8 बजे। थिंक अबाउट इट सलमान कुरैशी के साथ हर मंगल शाम 7 बजे। रियल्टी कॉफी टॉक ताहिर कुरैशी के साथ देखिए हर जुमेरात 7 बजे। टुनाइट टॉक रिजवान असलम के साथ हर जुमे को 7 बजे। कससुल अंबिया सलमान अरशद के साथ हर इतवार 7 बजे। देखिए तकरार कीजिए तकरार समीना जबीन के साथ रोज रात 9 बजे। आप देख रहे हैं आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट, आवाज आपकी, चैनल हमारा, जुड़िए हमसे।
That Dame Drops told us how good Popeye's buttermilk biscuit shrimp is without us even asking.
So crunchy, buttery, just like those biscuits. Are you hungry yet?
8 shrimp, a side, and a biscuit for just $6.99.
At KM 9000 sang about Popeye's buttermilk biscuit shrimp because he was feeling it.
Shrimp, 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 shrimp. Shrimp, 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 shrimp.
8 shrimp, a side, and a biscuit for just $6.99.
One.
Hello, welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the globe. We were talking about the real estate market update. As you can see, I discuss and share with you the market of real estate, home buying and selling has increased from May this year to June this year, almost 87%, 89%, and which reasonably adjusted to 84%. So basically, it's a big jump from May 2020 to June 2020. So we were talking about the year-over-year percentage of change for home. So we talk about the detached home and semi-home. So again, I repeat it again, the detached home increased 10.8% average, 14.3% in 416, and 11.7% the average price increase. And SAMI in 416, 22% increase, and 905 increased 8.6%. So now we talk about townhome. Townhome, we have a 2.5% increase in sale. And in 905, in 416 area, and 905 increased 7.8%. So that means 905 townhomes are selling more than in the 416 area. So average is 6.5% increase in sale, because one is the increase in sale is based on the number of units that has been sold. We talked about that, versus the price average change. So the price average change is 6.2% from last June to this June. So you already 6.2% increase from 2019 to June 2020. And in 905 area, townhome has increased 11.6%. 11.6%. So average of 9.8%. So detached home are 10.8% increase. Samis are 11.9% increase, and townhomes are 9.8% average increase in 416 and 905. My friend, we have one more category that we'll talk about it, but this is very, very important for you to understand. The number of units were declined because construction was slowed down for 3 months. Question is, are we going to have enough supply to catch up with those 3-4 months of coronavirus lockdown? Is the builder, are those who have the capacity to build houses, are they going to increase production? Which is very unlikely. Therefore, the shortage of home, as you can see the disparity, the active listing, we have last year 19,655. And in June this year, we have 14,001, 28.8% less listing. That means it's a seller's market, because there's a short supply and demand is high. People still have to buy the house to provide shelter. Cost of rental has gone skyrocketing. So this is very, very important. We're going to share some other information as well with you. The real estate GDP growth for the first quarter was minus 8.2%. The Toronto employment growth, May 2020 was minus 10.9%. Toronto unemployment rate, May 2020 was 11.2%. Inflation, CPI growth, May 2020, minus 0.4%. Bank of Canada override rate, June 2020, 0.25%. Prime rate, June 2020, 2.45%. Mortgage rate, which is a normal mortgage, these are the published rate. Mortgage rate, 1 year is 3.19, 3 years 3.89, 5 years 4.94. But remember, I mentioned that in my mortgage coffee talk, these rates are the published rate, where the bank are offering lower rate to their client based on your information. There are special rate for the one that has a insured mortgage. When they're conventional mortgage, they're slightly 10 point more expensive than the insured mortgage rate. So there are special rates that I have negotiated for my brokerage, and they're available. We can get your mortgage if you are looking for mortgage. I just want to share with you. Now let's go talk about condominium now. That's the last element of the real estate. The condo apartment in 416 sale was minus 13.6. So sale went down year over year. And 905 condominium went minus 22.3%. So average condo was minus 16.3 in sales. Whereas the townhome and detached home are the only two in 416 and 905. They were in a positive territory in terms of sales, year over year sales. Now, a house was 5.6%, and townhome was 6.5%. The condo apartment was 16.3%. Now let's look at the now. One is a sale, and then will be an average price. So the condominium price, condo apartment price, was up 5.6% average price in 416 last June to this June. And 905, very surprising, went 9.1% higher than last year, last June to this June. And average is 7% increase. So when you talk about the reduction in sale, is because you have a number of units are available. Your quantity available is almost 28.8% less property available. So when you have a less property available and you have a more buyer, they're willing to pay more. But I caution you, when you are buying a property, then keep in remember that the bank is the one who's going to give you the money, and they want to evaluate, appraise the value of the property to make sure it is worth it. So if it's a below loan to value ratio is less than 20% down payment, then the transaction is mortgage is secured through CMAC and they're insured. So bank risk is covered. But when bank risk is not covered and you're putting more than 20%, so the bank will do the appraisal. And sometimes the appraisal come lower than the value you purchase. So two questions come to your mind. Is it my house really worth the value that I negotiated? Or am I willing to pay the difference between the two? For example, if you buy 800,000 house and you're putting 20% down, and then you have bank come back and he say, okay, no, it's 750,000, the value. So there is a difference between 750 and 800,000. Who's going to pay? If you are going to pay it, make sure you have the money. And that's why it's very important to make sure you have the mortgage condition and appraisal condition in your agreement of purchase and sale. Therefore, if you don't get that satisfaction or guaranteed, and you have a piece of paper buying the appraisal from the bank that this is the value of the property, the seller have a choice. If either to negotiate with you to reduce the price, or you let it go, or you absorb the cost if you love the house so much. But this will have impact on you because you are moving into a house. In your mind, you will be thinking about, did I pay more money for this property? That is why it's very, very important when you are dealing with realtors, you make sure you demand a CMA, comparative market analysis, when you're buying it. We do that when we're selling the property, but it's very, very important that you sit down and talk with your realtor and demand CMA. That way, the property value, when you are putting an offer, is calculated. You understand square footage of the house, you know the lot sizes, you know finished basement, is covered, not covered. They can buy the impact report and give it to you, and you are well informed making decision when putting an offer. If you put more money, if you love the property, there is no logic. If you love the property, you're willing to pay for it. Sometimes it's a good decision to go ahead with it. But this is very important. As long as you are prepared, you understand, and you want to live in a house peacefully and enjoy with you and your family. I hope that the market update, I have provided you all the information. If you have any questions regarding this program, and if you wish to advertise in Realty Coffee Talk, if you are a real estate broker or a brokerage, please do contact Awaz Entertainment. We'll be more than happy to put your advertisement so our clients can contact you and do make more money. I'm a real estate broker of record, City Pro Realty in Brokerage. My number is 905-785-9923. If you have any question regarding real estate or mortgage, more than happy to assist you. Thank you very much for watching. We take the opportunity to thank our health officers, doctors, nurses, medical staff, police officers, everybody who put their life online to protect fellow Canadians. And we salute you, we love you, we respect you, we care for you. Thank you very much for your service to Canada and humanity. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. See you next Thursday on Realty Coffee Talk Show on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. Thank you very much for watching.